Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be doing our third video in our First Contact Day series. But before we get into the video, captains, do us a favor, like it, also subscribe here to YouTube Bridge, as we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love, our passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. And with that said, here we go. Now, captains, as we mentioned, this is our third video, so we're going to just put this on screen here. The YouTube log, as you can see, we started off with the Oberth, then we followed that up with the Miranda. Now again, we're using the ships that were present in the battle for Sector 001, and we go here to Memory Alpha, and we're on to the next ship, which is the Soyuz class, also known as the USS Bozeman. Now, I did not know that this is the same ship that almost collided, or did collide actually, with the Enterprise D in TNG. Now, I did not know that this was the same ship. So there you go. I learned something new. And this is why we keep doing what we do, because sometimes we even learn something new. So this is that ship that was captained by Morgan Bateson. And it says here, in 2373, the Bozeman was part of the fleet fighting a Borg cube during the Battle of Sector 001. The Bozeman fought alongside the USS Defiant as part of the mobile unit. So that's awesome. And of course, it says Star Trek First Contact. So that is why we are using this ship. Now, I will say, and I say this a lot, this wasn't my, this design I didn't really like it at first, but of course it grew on me. Because all they did was use a classic Miranda, and then they stuck pew pew cannons on it. But I think it works. But look at the amount of cannons that we do get on this. Like, we get the underside there of the saucer. We get the ones on the side there, which look pretty cool actually now. Which reminds me of cannons that you would see sort of on another sci-fi type franchise. Then of course you have these ones here mounted on the top and the bottom, in the rear here, in the aft. And in the aft you get like 3 hangar bays, so, or shuttle bays, or whatever you want to call it. So this can be used as also a ship that launches fighters, but we'll get into that a bit later. So what we're going to do is actually go over the build, the weapons, space set, consoles, trade stations, DOFs, and then take it into a Cure Advanced and see how it does. So here we go. And I made a mistake here on the ship. As you can see, I went USS Bozeman. It is what it is, captains. We're gonna keep that there. We got to keep it fresh. We got to keep it entertaining for myself so that I get a little chuckle here and there. It is what it is. So here we go. So there it is, the USS Bozeman. And we're using the same ship that we did in the last video, but we just changed up the build. So the legendary Miranda multi-mission cruiser. So we'll start here. The 4 weapons. We have the Obliviating Phaser Dual Beam Bank. Now we used 3 of these. We just got this off the exchange. Now, these phasers share the same exact visuals as the pulse phasers. I was going to use those ones, but I'm like, they're exactly the same. They look the same, they sound the same, and they're on the other tune, so I just went with these. But there's also another purpose of that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So just 3 of these, they're just re-rolled to crit damage 4, and I just got this again off the exchange. Now, in my mind, since this ship now is in the future from where it came from, they did a little bit of an upgrade. And that upgrade was using actual standard phaser beam banks. So this is why we have this here, the phaser beam array, and crit damage times 3 with the pen mod. Again, the things that just come to my mind, sometimes it just works for the build, and it works for me. I like the visuals, so it works. Next up, Photon Torpedo Launcher with the spread mod, of course, reroll to crit damage times 3. Just bought this off the exchange, and I know that spread mod doesn't go off a lot, but in my mind, it goes off a lot. So there you go. Just got that off the exchange. Base set here, nothing different. Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter Deflector from your fleet colony, the prevailing innovative impulse engines from your competition rep, the mycelial harmonic matter antimatter core, and Tilly's Review pending modified shield from the Discovery rep. Of course, the two-piece gives us 120% hull regen. Nothing too bad. Then in the aft weapons, first up we have the Trilithium Enhanced Omnidirectional Phaser Beam. This actually comes from the episode Nexus, so you can get this for free. Nothing wrong with free. And all we did is just re-roll it and upgrade it. The next up here is the Omnidirectional Obliviating Phaser Beam Ray. Now, normally I wasn't going to get this, but huge shout out to Poktoy. Thank you so much, Poktoy, sir, for actually gifting this to us. So we thought, of course, we'd take that opportunity to use it along with this build and also give Poktoy a shout out. Again, just re-rolled it and we get more phaser goodness. So this kind of re-rolls and ends off sort of the refit look of standard phaser beam arrays that this ship has. And of course, we added an aft torpedo, and it is the Prolonged Engagement Photon Torpedo. Of course, we got this as an event reward, but you can get this from your Phoenix prize pack as your very rare token, I believe. And it does have an 180% target arc, 180-degree targeting arc. And it also helps when we're flying away from a target, and there's nothing more Star Trek in my mind than flying away from a target and launching a torpedo from your aft. Yes. Devices, we got some energy candy here. We got this energy amplifier for plus 20% bonus energy weapon damage for 20 seconds. The Kobayashi Maru transponder for its buff goodness. Temporal negotiator to help with our cooldowns. And subspace field modulator for some damage resistance rating. Our consoles. This is going to be on every build, I swear, because this looks so awesome. It's the experimental power redirection. You get this from your XL 2.0, which you can get as a prize from your event campaign. Gives us 19.9% increased energy damage and 13.3 starship weapon amplification. It improves critical hit severity. Now, we like using this because it is just a visual beam symphony of overload and thaw. And I love it. I'm here for it. Next up is the Emulating Phaser Lance. Again, this is in our head, the beam overload, but also a very, very useful universal console. You can get this from your Deimos Pilot Destroyer, which we got as our first reward from the event campaign for its 15.8% phaser damage and 43.8 Starship Shield pen. Not too shabby. Next up, the DPRM, or Dynamic Power Redistributing Module. This comes from the Atlas or the Prototype Dreadnought. Again, another ship that you can get from the event campaign as a reward. 11.3 all damage resistance rating, 19% directed energy damage, and when you click this, for 20 seconds, plus 40% bonus damage while your hull is above 80%, 100 bonus damage resistance rating, and 500% hull regen. And of course, we are pairing it with the Point Defense Bombardment Warhead. So it's going to give us plus 25% projectile damage, 1% critical chance. Very cute. But paired with the DPRM, that gives us 33% phaser damage for directed energy weapons. So on the last build, it was a torpedo boat. It did help our single beam that we had there, I think. This time, this is pretty much more of a beam build in my mind, so definitely going to help this out. And you can get that, of course, on any version of the NX. Next up, the binaural infusion circuits, which you can get from your low-buy store. Domino, which you can get actually from the Bajoran Interceptor. We got this as an event prize, but you can actually get this as the Epic tier reward from your Phoenix prize pack. Plus 15% phaser damage, plus 20 AC rating. And when you click it, weapon damage plus haste, extended by kills for 10 seconds. So, sorry, extended by kills, but for 10 seconds, you get 25% fire cycle haste for your energy weapons, which we have a lot of, plus 25% bonus all damage, plus 25% recharge speed for bridge officer abilities, plus 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. So it's going to help us. Of course, if you defeat a foe, plus 2 seconds duration to all effects. So that is pretty awesome. Next, we're actually going to use its baby brother, or what I call its baby brother, the M6 computer. This actually comes from the temporal escort that you can get from your shipyard for dilithium. Very useful console, and a console that you can use as a stand-in or replacement, depending if you can't get that Phoenix prize back epic token. But you can see there, similar to the Domino, plus 15% bonus all damage for 15 seconds, plus 25% cooldown reduction for tactical bridge officer abilities, 20% fire cycle haste for all weapons for 15 seconds, and then also for 15 seconds, plus 30 AC and defense rating. And we're going to use the, what I call sprinkler. Visually, this looks like a sprinkler when it goes off. But it's a weaponized helical torsion, but it's also giving us plus 15% phaser damage, plus 15% critical severity. So not that bad. I got this, of course, from the version of, I believe, the Crossfield, from the legendary one, I believe. Yeah, I think that's where I got it from. Sure, it was in the inventory, we used it, there it is. Now, of course, we are using the Lorca's custom fire controls from the Discovery Rep, plus 3.9% critical chance. And it improves our shield pen, giving us 157.5 Starship shield pen. And then we're just rounding it off with 2 vulnerability locators for phaser, where it's plus 39.4 phaser damage and 2% critical chance. Now again, it does have a hangar bay, but we're not going to be using it because we didn't see any fighters used there in the Battle of Sector 001. Stat-wise, this gives us 43% crit chance and crit severity of 193.2%. Keep in mind, captains, of course, I have my Pendevers ranked to 600. I can easily go to 750, but I find that we're getting along fine, and we did fine before they did the extension of the Pendever system, and we're doing fine now, so I find no real reason to do so. And I just like to do that just for the sake of doing it. So there you go. That is the weapons that we have there. Skill tree, nothing too different here. You can have a look at their captains. 8 spent in engineering, 10 spent in Psi, and then 28 spent in tactical. I've been using the skill tree for years, and it gets us fine through any of the pew pews that we do here on the bridge. Trait-wise, this is what we're doing. A good day to die. Beam barrage. Fragment of AI tech, which actually also was given to us by Paktoy. So huge shout out again to you, sir. Thank you so very much. Adaptive offense. We're going to use intense focus. Superior beam training. Unconventional systems. Terran targeting systems. Intelligent agent attaché, and the Boimler effect. Starship traits, this is what we ended up going with. Entwine Tactical Major Seas for giving us an additional thaw when we use Torp Spread. One of my favorite traits, the Carrier Wave Shield Hacking, because it takes the shields down for 5 seconds, where it can go direct to hull damage. Overpowered and Overgunned. Universal Designs, and Emergency Weapon Cycle. Space Rep, we're going to change this right now because we were supposed to change this and we didn't. So we're going to change it right now, real time. Real time, captains. We can do this, no problemo. So we're going to use Enhanced Shield Penetration. We're going to keep Advanced Targeting Systems, but we'll also change here Omega Kinetic Shearing. We're going to, and we were doing fine before. We've used this already a couple nights. And see, that's what I mean. We do fine. Yes, you can synergize your builds here and there. and sometimes get away with things here. But what we're going to use is magnified firepower for its plus all weapon damage. There you go. Precision, and then Tyler's duality. Next up, in our active space rep, we have the anti-time entanglement singularity, biomolecular shield generator, deploy sensor interface platform, quantum singular manipulation, and refractoring tetron cascade. Stations, left to right, top to bottom. We have Cumicite, distributed targeting, emergency powered engines, torpedo spread, attack pattern beta, and the main damage dealer here is beam fire at will, which we know Star Trek loves using. Heisenberg amplifier, emit unstable warp bubble, emergency power to weapons, and recursive shearing. So again, the emergency power weapons does go off of this synergizer with emergency weapon cycle. And size station here, of course, tractor beam, jam targeting sensors, and scramble sensors. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uncon procs here. That's going to help us greatly. Now we go to our dopes. So of course we have the 2 on ground helping us in space. Neil Falconer, very fitting. Gives us increased damage versus the BERG, and Elder Malikaton increased damage versus all. And then for the space, this is what we decided to do. We have the 3 energy weapons officer, with 2 of them giving us a chance to stack crit severity, the other one a chance to stack crit chance. And then 3 projectile weapons officers is what we want to do here. So all of them give us a chance to stack crit severity when we fire our projectile. So there you go. I know I can always use the, of course, emergency holographic con officer, and also Delirene, increased damage versus BERG, but sometimes we like to change it up, like we said. So there is the build, Captains. A very unique looking ship in Star Trek. So we took, of course, the opportunity to use First Contact Day to take this ship out and do some pews. So now we're going to go into Cure Advance. Now it's been a little laggy here. I thought it would settle down, but you might see our ship do a little herky-jerky here, but it is what it is, Captains. But what we're going to do, of course, in the Cure Advance is take out the left dock station first, clear that out as best as we can, then take care of the ships heading towards the Kang, then take out the right dock, clean that up, clear up the remaining ships, take out the center dock, and then finish off the TFO. And of course, the objective being to protect the Kang and get some revenge on the BERG. So here we go. Take it here. And of course, Captains, just keep in mind, this is just for fun. We do this because we know that this gets us through our nightly pew pews and the way that I play nightly here on the bridge. So we'll click that. We'll wait for it to bring us into that TFO. But again, we could have used those fighters. And of course, if you can, but again, when we do these certain theme builds, we try to change it up. We try to come up with different ways to make it work for us. Again, this is not me telling you how to build your ship. This is me showing you how I have fun here. And for the most part, I just try to synergize the build so that it can just get me through my nightly pew pews. And really, this gets us through almost 95% of the pew pews that we do here on the bridge. So here we go. Here we go. It's a very short briefing time, which I wish they could do with all the TFOs. Okay. Let's target this. Again, try to see if we can clear that as best as possible. Then we always get this prompt that stops us. Just go there, up there, start boosting up. Take out the cube like there. Take out these things. Take out that. We took out those. We're going to go head out here. Take these out quickly as best as we can. Sprinkler. Power. There you go. Head over here first. Take out these ones getting close to the Kang. Circle back to those. I see they're getting closer here, so we're just going to take that out first. Take these guys out before they get to the Kang. We want to do our best for the Kang not to take any damage, but we'll go here now, take out the right side. Look at that. Look at that. Just beam symphony right there. Look. Look at that. Beam Symphony. Love it. Takes out the cube pretty good, in my opinion. I just love the sound of that. I really do. Get some damage resistance rating going on here. We're getting through our shields here, so let's get rid of that. Spear here, so let's take care of that as well. Everything clear. Take out these ships heading towards the Kang with neg bars. Actually power the engines here to get a little buff speed. Sprinkler time. Take care of that. Then we're going to leave our buffs as best as we can on the cube there. Actually, we'll start doing that now. And then beam overload symphony. I wasn't even aiming at the cube, and it still took it out. That's a stubborn neg bar. Boom! There we go. And just like that. Even the Bozeman gave it to the Borg today. Yes! Yes! Tell the Kang, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. We'll take care of the last bit of Borg here. Let's do that. Buff up as best as we can. We have tack plates, so we'll get up and close and personal. Take out its own shields. Take that out. Will we even get to use the other buffs? Yes. Beam Overload Symphony? Yes! 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 Look at that. Done! Boom! And I think the Kang only just took one shot, so perfect. Perfect. So, there you go, Caps. That is how the USS Bozeman, well, the USS Bozeman did here. And it did mighty fine. So let's get out of here and, of course, give our final thoughts on this third ship in our first Contact Day series. And again, Captains, like I said before, we just do this for our fun. Plain and simple. This is the types of things that keeps us engaged in Star Trek Online and just has us have these moments of just joy. To be honest, really, just moments of joy. So there you go. Again, our third video here. I always have a lot of fun doing these series, and this is similar, like I said, to the series that we did last year, Star Trek Day, and gives us a chance to take out ships that we wouldn't normally do, and of course, just kind of come up with something fun. And this gets us through our nightly pew pews. Captains, you can build the ships any way you want, because at the end of the day, you're the one captaining there. So there it is. Do us a favor, Captains. Like the video, comment below. Let us know if this is one of your favorite ships in Star Trek lore, and also subscribe here to the YouTube Bridge and look out for our next video coming out, because we still got a whole list of ships that we're involved in the Battle of Sector 001 for First Contact Day. And of course, we will leave it actually on this note.
Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.